Alright, you've been waiting long enough. So yeah, I heard something today about, uh, like, drama with Israel and Palestine, and I just thought, I don't want to deal with this right now. Like, it doesn't help that people I'm following are commenting about it, which makes me feel like I have to say or do something, so no. I hate politics. Especially when they're complicated politics. But yeah, I'm gonna edit a Tarkov meme today. Let's see. So I already took this clip. Alright. So yeah, I'm gonna turn that into a meme about escape from Tarkov. But in order to do that, I need to first get some assets off of the internet. Actually, wait. There is something else I want to do as well. Okay, so let's see. What is a good item to have? Oh, I know. Uh, hmm. See, the thing is, I'm not sure how I want to approach this. And one idea I had was every single head in this crowd is like a stash item. Uh, I don't know though. Hmm. Well, I think I know a good place to start. Let's see. What is a good looking rig to use? Let's see. Let's start with this one. All right, now to switch over. There we go. This was its thumbnail I literally just made. Actually, one moment. Let's close some of this. These are our previous thumbnails I'm working on. I got a few things in the pipeline. Hold on, God Justice. There we go. Alright, so this looks like a fairly decent place to start, although it's gonna be kind of annoying. Yeah, it's gonna be really annoying. Alright, so now we just need to go and deal with the finer details. There's probably easier ways to do this involving different software, but I don't know. They've gotten very complacent, and like all I know is paint.net, and I think I could stick with this forever, honestly. Though I wouldn't be above using something else, especially if it's something I don't have to like subscribe and pay for, if it means I can go through this process faster. Actually, hmm, I have an idea, but I want to just clean this up first. This is in many ways an art form in and of itself. Probably an outdated art form like, I don't know, blacksmithing, for example, but hey, it's definitely nice and relaxing. It's hot today. You'd think Canada's a really cold country. Nope. Not when it starts to get summer. At that point, it gets stupid. And by the looks of it, someone just joined. Hello. Hi again, Satania. How's your day been? I think it's better for the world if I don't reveal what is behind this model. For me, it's been okay. It's been sort of a lazy day, and I've been sort of, I did talk about this in my last stream. I don't know if you were there for it. A role-playing group with other VTubers. And I'm trying to organize that. And I did in the last stream say, oh yeah, we should be able to do it by Saturday, and I gave an exact time. Next day, someone says, hey, I can't be a part of this group anymore, so now we need to look for another member, which means managing around schedules and shit. It's gonna be... And yeah, I've been spending a lot of the morning trying to do that. I've also been trying to contact a voice actor on Fiverr, and I'm not gonna say what for. All I'm gonna say is it's another meme I'm making, not this one though. Actually, is that part of the... I think it is, yeah. Actually, no, it isn't. Hmm. You know what? I might just not bother with this. Instead, just use the whole... Use the whole image. Well, let's try that first, see what happens. Alright. Where was that image? There we go. Also, my dog's been doing a lot better. He's gonna get his stitches removed soon. Let's see, size. Yeah, it should work. What? Uh, yeah, like I said, my dog's getting his stitches removed. He's got 20 of them in his ass. Poor guy. Other than that, there's nothing too eventful going on. My brother's birthday is coming up. I hope he'll be alright. Oh, he's gonna be alright. So, what happened was... I should probably lock this layer. Not do that. There we go. What happened was, basically, he had this cyst on his ass, and somehow, last time I went to the groomer, I guess it got ruptured. Uh, it started to, like, inflame, and we noticed he was biting on it, and we had to get this emergency surgery done with. But yeah, he is expected to make a full recovery. And he is doing quite well, actually. What about you? How's your day been going? Like, you have any complaints? Anything you want to lament to me? I'm here to listen. There we go. Just procrastinating on homework. What kind of homework? Tell me about it. Math. Math can be either a really complicated subject or a really simple subject, depending. Like, what kind of math? Is this, like, college level math, university level math, high school level? High school. Binomial stuff. What is binomial? I've heard that word before, but I don't know if I've ever actually had to study that in high school. I mean, maybe it's not something they teach in Canada. But yeah. One thing I've learned about math, though, is uh, it's basically a very simple and black and white uh, statistics is hard. Yeah, math is, like, the reason why I loved math in school was because it didn't require me to have an opinion. Which was really nice. Like, I remember in English class, I would fucking, like, I'd read a short story or something, and then I'd be asked about my opinion on it, and I just don't care. Still, if you think high school math is bad, wait till you get into, like, engineering math. Let me tell you something. There are very few times where I have, actually, no, that's not true. I do cry a lot, but there are very few times regarding school where I cry a lot. But one of the main times that it happened was when I had to go through an electrical engineering program, which I ended up dropping out of, honestly. Yeah, it beats having to write an essay. No, writing an essay, it depends on if you care. That's what I've learned is how much you accumulate, how much knowledge you accumulate really does depend on, do you actually care? Are you interested in the subject itself? Let's see, is there a random page on this wiki? I'm looking at the Tarkov wiki right now for more assets. Random page, here we go. This one will work. But yeah, like, have you ever heard of Boolean algebra? Because that was very complicated back when I had to learn that. And it was like super, super complicated. Holy hell was it complicated. Basically, it's like you get plus and multiplication signs, but they do not mean plus and they do not mean multiplication. But after a while, it ended up becoming fun too. Because the thing about Boolean algebra is there's a few different ways to do it, and one of them was this like chart that made it feel like I was doing like a Sudoku puzzle. It's all about how it's presented to you, I guess. But yeah, I think the worst thing I've ever had to wrap my head around was calculus. My brother's a physicist, and he says calculus is easy, and just shows how above me he is right now. So where'd that random button go? There it is, random page. Maybe something bigger. I want something bigger. I don't want everything to be small. Especially since that's going to be more work for me. No. My god, there's a lot of one-slot items in Tarkov. There are a lot of one-slot items. Maybe. I'm not sure what calculus is, to be honest. Is it part of mechanics? Calculus, uh, honestly, even I don't know. All I know is that it's been used to, like, my brother understands this better than I do. Uh, it's been used to, like, calculate, I think planetary rotations. I could be really wrong on that. But it's like really complicated math. It's the kind of thing like Isaac Newton invented it, so it's definitely something that is needed in astrophysics. But apparently, it's also needed when discussing alternating current. Because, like I said, I went to college originally for electrical engineering. And I mean, the course wasn't bad at first, especially like DC circuits are very fun because that way, like, when you have to deal with alternating current, you have to deal with trigonometry, which I barely remember. And there's these formulas, which I don't quite remember as well. It was a pain. But I plowed through it up until the point where I realized... Oh, hell no, this is way too small. Seriously? None of these pictures are to scale? That's gonna make this more complicated. As a non-physician, it sounds... Physics, not physician. Although I imagine that you had like an autocorrect problem. Are you out of college now? Technically, yes. But I'm not like out of college. Like semester ended. Uh, but no, I am going back in September. Right now, I have pretty much nothing to do, which is why I started to become a VTuber in the first place. I mean, I've always had the idea in my head, but uh, like now just seemed like a good time to get into this. But yeah, I decided to move away from STEM because I mean STEM is nice and all, and it will definitely guarantee you a job, which is why I decided to go into it. But holy shit, STEM was like, how do I explain this? Most of the teachers have like thick foreign accents, and they also really do not give a shit about you. So if you're lagging behind and you can't keep up with the rest of the class like me, they don't care. And like, my god, never before did I ever feel like I want to be a communist revolutionary. Like, that system, fuck. You know what, when it gets grim, is when, you start to seriously contemplate things like, uh, I feel kind of embarrassed to even say this. Uh, but there was one point at my lowest point where I was basically contemplating holding one of my professors hostage, like actually hostage. Because I felt like he was treating me very unfairly. Uh, and like I said, that was the lowest point in my life right there. I'm glad I came to my senses eventually, though. But yeah, things got rough. So, moral of the story, I would say, is, while STEM fields are tempting, do not, like, of course, all the boomers say, like, you know, you can be whatever you want, and there's an entire generation, uh, that grew up believing that, and now they're in dead-end jobs. But here's the thing. If you try to work a job you don't want, yeah, like, when I say teachers did not care about my struggles, I really do mean it. Like, uh, it's hard to explain. Like, here's a good example. There's one thing I need to do on a computer. For some reason, plugging a USB into the port caused the entire computer to reset. There were like 6 minutes left in class. So I had to like, uh, something like that, yeah. So I had to like, reboot the computer and complete all the steps I had tried to do for the last fucking, how long was it? God. Like the last 2 hours of work in like 6 minutes. And when I tried to explain the situation to him, he gave me a 0. It's like, I don't care. And I said, sir, I can go in on a completely different date. Like, I can come in tomorrow and redo this if you want. He said, there is no time for that. And he just said, go fuck yourself. Uh, so yeah. And that was like a really stressful moment for me. Uh, but like I said, I held in for long enough. And here's the thing. I was the last person in my family to accept that this program wasn't for me. So no one can say that I didn't give it a good effort, because I was the last person in my family who said, I can't do this anymore. Like, my brother, my sister, my parents, they knew I was struggling too much for this class. They knew it wasn't for me, but I've been in this program for about 2 years-ish. So, uh, I really, really needed, like, I just felt like I have to finish this. I have to finish what I started. But yep, I broke down. I remember sitting outside, crying my eyes out, calling my mom, telling her that, my lab partner is incompetent. This sounds like a very tough environment. If they didn't give a shit, then, they weren't doing their job. Exactly. Uh, and it got to the point where my parents had to get involved. And from that, I learned that apparently the entire, like, what do you call it? The entire uh, the whole program was very under-equipped and understaffed, which explained why they couldn't, like, help me in any way, shape, or form. Uh, so what I ended up doing was just, leaving, the whole program. I think I could still do it if I had the time and, like, patient teachers, but I didn't. So I had to, like, drop out. But the best part is, I actually dropped out early February last year. Uh, so, uh, like, it was really early, so I could still get the money back for this year's tuition, which was nice. But I could also, yeah, it looks about right. Uh, and my parents agreed I should, like, take the time to decompress because it was already too late in the semester to actually make a change. So instead, what ended up happening was uh, I ended up, like, staying home and enrolling in summer classes. Uh, and that went fine actually, because I decided to go into a different field completely, and I'm still in that field. But here's the thing. Uh, at around March, that's when the pandemic hit. So it was sort of perfect timing for me because I'm already used to being a basement dweller anyways. So, uh, by the time the pandemic hit, I was already home for a few weeks, just pissing away time. So, like, I can safely say almost nothing has changed for me because of this. Actually, speaking of which, how have you been dealing with it? Sounds like a very tough environment. Oh yeah, you already said that. But yeah, how have you been through this whole pandemic? How has high school been? I'm assuming most of your classes are online, right? I was lucky enough to benefit from it since I got my exams canceled. Nice. Okay, argument. But I retook them in November because why not? That's nice. It's honorable. Another thing I've learned is I haven't done online school since June, though. Well, that's, I suppose, good for you. Still putting you at risk. But, what was I gonna say? Jesus Christ, I have a lot of these. Holy shit. I just realized how many layers of images I'm making. Oh, this is gonna be tough. Okay. Uh, what was I gonna say? Uh, yeah, but, it's interesting. Like, I learned about a month after the pandemic happened. Like, because by that point, uh, it was all over the news. Like, the economy is shut down, kids can't go to school anymore, entire, like, industries are shut down. My brother was lucky that he got his, Valve Index as an impulse buy when he heard about Half-Life Alyx release. He got that way back in November 2019, and he's lucky, because the stock for Index is just dried up. Same with, like, any kind of computer components, graphics cards and shit. So, but a month after the pandemic hit, I realized I am witnessing history. And that's exciting for me, because history is one of my favorite subjects. Uh, Like, and my opa, which is Dutch for grandfather. Yeah, true. Uh, he, so he's Dutch, right? And he's been around since, God, when was he born? 1920s or 30s? It had to have been 1920s because he was a teenager. Point is, uh, he was like he went through German occupation of the Netherlands. Uh, and he said this pandemic reminds him of World War II. Yeah, we actually like. Here's the thing. So Gen Z officially started, I think, last time I checked, 1996. Which means I'm just on the tail end of Gen or like Millennial and Gen Z. I have no 90s nostalgia. I think I was in kindergarten when 9/11 happened. So there aren't a lot of big historic events I can say I've lived through, especially like global historic events. That's the thing. My opa said this reminds him of the war. And I see why, because it's on the news, it's affecting the economy and everything. And it's just such a cosmic experience to say, holy shit, I'm in history right now. I am a part of history. And that's the thing, like, when you and I grow up, well, I am grown up, but like when we get old, we're gonna have like kids walking up to us and asking, what was the pandemic like? And that's gonna be amazing. It's like I can say firsthand what the pandemic was like. There's gonna be documentaries about this shit. Like, and I already know that like there are gonna be healthcare systems across the world that are gonna change. I've already seen supply chains around the world have already started shifting. So it's like there's going to be a pre and post pandemic world, and we're gonna re-sit through it. Like it's exciting. First events in the world to affect everyone. Yeah, that's true. Pretty much. I mean, we could argue that there might be a few others. The Cold War definitely affected everyone. Just not in the same kind of way. Like, uh, the Cold War was, like, it was cold, obviously. Nothing happened. But, like, the amount of, policy change that happened because of it was intense. And actually, I was recently listening to a podcast talking about it. By the way, if you like history, I advise you to look up a guy named Dan Carlin. He has this podcast called Hardcore History. And one, he's got a really nice voice, really pleasant to listen to. But also two, he uh he went through this like 6 hour long monologuing podcast where he talked about the Cold War, which he lived through. He grew up learning like these different drills for air raids and stuff. And he talked about how there really was like this change in the US policy because of the events of the Cold War. Like, here's an interesting thought. Where are you from, by the way? Are you from America or something? Well, anyways, he talked about how American policy, like, if America goes to war, you need England. Ah, England. So here's the thing. I'm pretty sure it's the same in the UK too. Like, if your country goes to war, you need, like, a massive consensus, right? Because that's a serious thing. And this won't do. Uh, so what he ended up saying was like if you notice the nuclear bomb, the atomic bomb, that was something that could be decided by the president alone. You didn't need Congress to do that. You wouldn't need like a consensus from public in order to drop a nuclear bomb on someone. One man could do it without any questions asked. And he talked about how that kind of like it's kind of like eroding democracy in a way. And I guess it's true. The Cold War definitely did that. By the way, what's your plan after high school? Or do you not have a plan? Being forced to go to war? Uh, what do you mean being forced to go to war? Like, the thing is, like, a nuclear bomb is something that you can't wait. It's, like, too decisive to wait for people to bicker about it. A decision needs to be there immediately, because here's the thing. If you, like, go to Congress and say, should we drop the bomb, that's public information now. Like, your enemies could, like, see that. The entire world can see that you're planning on using a nuclear bomb. So you have to keep that a secret so you can't tell anyone, so you can't get consensus. Going to uni for 3 years, course probably about IDK, what to study, maybe psychology. Uh, I think a good idea is to, like, I don't know, if you ever have the opportunity to speak with someone who goes through these courses, ask them specifically, uh, ask them specifically about, like, what it's like, because I know that, like, medical fields are brutal. Like, that's years of your life. And also, I'm pretty sure, uh, I've heard, I'm not entirely sure, but I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of, the content, like, the way they hand it out to you, was inspired by one particular, scholar who became a scientist, who basically snorted cocaine and like slept for 5 hours, and that's how he was able to get all of his work done for school. Again, I could be totally off on that. It's just a rumor I heard. But I do know that the medical field is brutal. And like they do not have a tolerance for error. It's like some classes in some courses it's like, oh, 50% is still a pass. I don't think medical schools are like that, and probably for good reason. Because like a 50% pass means that you're 50% good at being a doctor. Like, would you trust your life with someone like that? Maybe psychology is different, I don't know. Uh but I don't know, like so the course I'm taking, the reason why I chose it, I mean, obviously there's a few reasons, but one of the reasons why I chose it is because I realized that I'm very level-headed, uh, and I usually, like, almost always try to see every side of an argument. Uh, and I also know enough about, like, just the way people are to know when they're acting irrationally. Like, I've been around the internet and seen enough political drama. Speaking of which, that's why I started this stream. So I decided I want to get into HR. I want to get into human relations. Because that's in demand, and it's definitely going to be in demand for at least 100 years from now. But I think I could definitely be good at managing something like that. Maybe I can use my experience as a dungeon master to help me get organized, and reach out to people. So, like, And this is a career path I never thought I'd take. I never thought I'd, like, take a general arts and science course. I never thought I'd, like, take a humanitarian course. Because those are the ones everyone laughs at, and for good reason. But I think I can make it. Uh, let's see, what else can I put in here? Grenade case. How's the weather on your side of the planet, by the way? Yeah, basically, I decided, like, I mean, I think I could do a STEM field. I think I could, because I've definitely taught myself, the basics of nuclear chemistry just out of boredom and because I want to see how to simulate radiation in a tabletop game. But, like, the thing is, it requires me to go at my own pace, and an institution does not allow for that. Uh, but yeah, so I decided to completely switch gears, go into something completely different. Uh, and so far it's been nice. There are some like boring filler courses like advanced writing and shit like that. But one course I really did start to like were the courses dealing with the Indigenous people of Canada. Uh, and it really does seem like a very fascinating catch-22 situation with them. And I do feel sorry for them at the same time. There's a lot of problems with Indigenous communities that are not simple and cannot just be straightforward handled. So it's definitely been interesting to learn about that, learn about the history of my country, and the fact that Canada is guilty of all five definitions of genocide according to the United Nations. And this was after we split off from the British Empire, too. Maybe a few more helmets. Rolling through helmets. Yeah, sure, why not this one? Yeah, you should probably go. I'll take it you're not a political person. Yeah, I am not political at all. Like, I've learned enough about politics to know politics is stupid. That's actually why I think I'd be good in HR. Because I can tell when, like, something is just beyond stupid and beyond unfair. But anyways, yeah, go do your homework. Absolutely. It's nice to take breaks every once in a while. That's something I've learned, but just go do your homework, dude. Uh, Maybe catch you in another stream. Thanks for stopping by, though. I really do, like, appreciate the company. Uh, I think I need more rigs. This is a very ambitious project I'm working on. Hmm. What else can I put in here? Let's keep looking through the random page. See what we get. Actually, yeah, this one works. Oh, there's 3 people in stream now. Hello, new people. Hope you're enjoying this. Just putting together some memes. You know, killing away time while I wait to die. That sort of thing. Now, let's see. What else can I put in here? Maybe I should just straight up take a screenshot of my own inventory and work with that. You know what? Let's... That's not a bad idea. Actually, wait, isn't this supposed to be a Tarkov update today? I need to start streaming Tarkov soon. Well, that's not happening. Yeah. Fucking, I don't want to remember my password right now. Alright. Well, let's see what we got anyways going here. Might call this stream soon, though. Last time I didn't even realize my desktop audio was turned off.
Dude, This outbox is packed tighter than my tummy tunnel when I can't make brown on the camping trips. Because of my anxieties, and I have IBS also. Ow!
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of things here that, I don't know. I might be better off just cropping objects and shopping them to be transparent. Well, if that's the case, that's gonna take a lot longer. Jesus.
Okay, bozos, make room, make room, make room.
Ouch!
No, might not actually be a bad time to stop, especially if I can, like, take time to go into Tarkov and edit that shit. Uh. Comment down below if you have a suggestion for me. Because the idea is every single face here has got to be, like, an item. The idea is this is to represent, like, your typical standard edition inventory.
Okay, bozos, make room, make room, make room.
Ow!
Or maybe I could just leave it like this, you know, fill in a few more gaps, but just leave it like this. It doesn't have to be completely full, right? I think people would get the idea. I'll have to think about it later. Also, I hate the fact that these, like, grid squares aren't lining up completely. And it's just me, but, it's OCD, I guess. I hate using the word OCD, especially now that I know what OCD actually is. Now I feel bad for using it, because holy shit. OCD is no joke. Now see, why do these things just keep overlapping like this? I don't know. I'll give it a bit more time. Like, it would be easier if there was a way to, and maybe there is, and I'm just an idiot. If there was a way to make this entire background just totally transparent, that way I could, like, shop some big bulk image behind it and maybe copy and paste it. If that option does exist, I'll have to research it on my own time. Actually, that's not too much of a bad thing, all things considered. Especially since, like, I want to improve my craft. Yeah, alright. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream now, then. Maybe figure this out later. But yeah, thank you to everyone who came by and watched. Hope I brightened your day a bit. See ya.